What's going on, world? DS1 Ross, and we back here on Sheep Stay Sleep TV. Shout out to everybody who support the platform. Much love, much love. If you are in the building and you can hear me clearly, please drop your ones in the chat. Please drop your ones in the chat. Let me know if you can hear me loud and clearly before we get right into today's show. Just let me know if y'all can hear me, y'all. Let me know if y'all can hear me. Okay. I see 3 people can hear me. Let me get 2 more ones. Let me get 2 more ones, y'all. Shout out to everybody that's in the building. I see y'all. Shout out to y'all. Let me get 2 more ones, y'all. Let me get 2 more ones. Let me know if y'all can hear me loud and clear out there. Shout out to everyone in the building. Shout out to everyone in the building. Salute. And of course, we are back right here on Sheep Stay Sleep TV. I'm your host, DS1 Ross, of course. Salute to everyone that's in the building. Shout out to all of the visionaries. Shout out to my lovely lady mods in the building. Salute. Welcome to all the new supporters as well. Got another great show lined up for you guys today. So make sure you do what's free. Make sure you do what's free. Hit that like button, hit that share button. Hit that like button, hit that share button. Support today's show with a like and a share. I'm going to shout everyone out that's in the building. Make sure you guys take care of that free business. And then we're going to get into today's show. Because today's show, I feel is a bit controversial. I think it's a bit controversial. But we got to talk about it, man. We got to talk about it. So let's see who's in the building. We're going to get into it. Shout out to my man Bob in the building. Salute, Bob. Salute. Shout out to Ray Stansberry in the building. Salute. Hey, New York Nikki. How you doing? Good afternoon to you, New York Nikki. Shout out to you. What's up, Cynical? How you doing? Shout out to the Cynical one in the building. Hey, Miss Jasmine. Shout out to Miss Jasmine in the building. What up, Jasmine? Shout out to my man Self University on the pull up. Yes, sir. Salute to you, man. Salute. See who else is in the building. Hey, Miss Classy Creole. Shout out to Miss Classy Creole in the building. One of my lovely lady mods that always come through and hold it down. Thank you so much, Miss Classy Creole. Shout out to you. Shout out to the House of Love in the building. Salute. Shout out to Miss L'Oreal in the building. Another one of my lovely lady mods that always come through and hold it down. Shout out to you, Miss L'Oreal. As always, I appreciate you. We are 2 for 2 today. 2 for 2 in the building. Let's see who else is in the building. Mr. Mark Jacob. What's good, Mr. Mark Jacob? Salute. Shout out to Cuzzo on the pull up. Salute, salute, Cuzzo. Shout out to Hills in the building. Salute, salute, Cuzzo. Appreciate you. Salute to my comrade in the building. Salute to my brother, the Book of Ronan on the pull up. Salute my brother. Salute, salute, salute. Let's see who else is in the building, man. Let's see who else is in the building. I know it's been a minute, y'all. I know it's been a minute, but we're going to get into it today. We're going to get into it. Shout out to JD in the building. Salute, my brother. Shout out to JD in the building. Salute, salute, salute. Make sure y'all go support JD 1975 in the building. Make sure y'all go over there and support his channel. Go support the brother. He got some good content over there, man. He just getting started. Y'all go over there and show him some support. Shout out to my man Double C in the building. What up, Double C? Salute, bro. Yeah, we just getting started, bro. We just getting started. Make sure y'all check out the merch as well. Just go ahead and scroll down, check out the merch. Get y'all some Sheep Stay Sleep TV merch for the summer. Let's see who else is in the building before we get into the show. Shout out to my man King Rob. What up, King Rob? Salute, salute. No doubt, bro. Salute. Appreciate you. Shout out to 28 with a bag. Salute, 28. Salute. Shout out to everyone in the building, man. Y'all see today's show? Y'all see today's show. Now, today's show, like I said, it's a bit controversial, but I think it's a conversation that I think a lot of us brothers should have, especially for the brothers out there that's tuning in that may have not had a good relationship with their dad, may didn't know their dad like that when they were young. Their dad wasn't in their life, but their dad is still alive. You know, their dad is still breathing. Today's show is for you brothers as well, because you know I grew up with my dad, and a lot of my homeboys that I grew up with, they didn't grow up with their dads. It was only a few of us that actually grew up with our dads, and a lot of times, you know, as we got older, like in our teenage years, I began to see the resentment like that they had for their dads and for their dads never being around, and always telling me that I was lucky to be living with my dad and being with my dad all the time, and how they wish they could have that too, you know? So I think today's show is a conversation that I think a lot of us brothers should consider having, because I said this at my dad's funeral, and it was a message to my friends that I grew up with who didn't grow up with their dads, which is it's never too late. It's never too late to reconcile. It's never too late to reach out, especially if you still got your pops. It's never too late, because I still remember the last conversation I had with my dad. And I'm going to tell y'all brothers, like I said at my pop's funeral, don't wait until you can't talk to him no more. Because imagine how it feels to grow up with your dad your whole life, and one day he just go away, compared to not growing up with your dad, but being able to, at some point, even now, Have that relationship with your dad. It's never too late because you brothers still have time. Y'all still have time. Don't spend the time angry, being resentful, because you're gonna regret it when you have no more time with him. You're gonna regret it when you have no more time with him. So I want to talk about this today. Shout out to Cuzzo in the building. I already know, right? What up, Tom? Salute, right? I want to talk about this because y'all see in the title, NBA legend Karl Malone tries to make up for lost time. Now, here's where things get a little tricky. Things are gonna get a little funny because there's a twist to this story. And we're gonna get into it, but we got to get back to the men understanding that it's never too late. See, one thing I've noticed about a lot of us brothers, right, is a lot of us see our lives as men as just, I got to get it right now. I got to get it right now. I don't have no time to mess up. You know, a lot of us think like this. I'm even guilty of it myself. I'm guilty of it myself of thinking that I don't have enough time to really make no bad mistakes. You know, we think we got to get it right then and there. Our lives got to just be, and when we start living it, we understand that it's not like that. But a lot of us, we don't know how to bounce back from shit. We don't know how to bounce back from certain mistakes, and it runs a toll on us, you know, because we think that we got to have it right. You know, we got to be the men that nobody can't see us fall. Nobody can't see us down, and you know, it plays into our pride and how we see ourselves as men. You know, this is what plays into a lot of the depression that a lot of men deal with in society today. And by the way, depression is a mental illness if you didn't know that. And I'm telling y'all that because at one point I didn't know. I actually thought depression was just a state of mind. And it is, but it's a mental illness. It's a stressed state of mind. And your mind shouldn't be under that level of stress. I had to understand that and be taught that in therapy. So just in case a lot of you brothers don't know, because a lot of us was taught a certain way how to be a man, and a lot of us was taught in a very rigid way. So we see depression as, oh yeah, it's just something I'll get through. But no, it's actually a mental illness, bro. It's not normal. It's not, you know, you should not be, no one should be depressed. Animals shouldn't be depressed. Like, an animal shouldn't be depressed. So you're a human, you know? But what happens is a lot of guys feel like it's too late to reconcile. They feel like it's too late. They don't want to hear it. You know, they had to raise themselves. I had to do this alone. I had to figure out how to be a man on my own. I had to go through what I went through to become who I am. And I'm not gonna bag back. I don't want to accept anyone's excuses, any other man's excuses on why he wasn't there for me the way he was supposed to be. I understand that attitude. I understand that mentality. I do. I do. But see, what happens, and this is what I noticed happened with a couple of my homies, and salute to them if they listening in the clouds, right? What I noticed was when they became fathers, their perception changed. You see? See, this is why today's show is called what it's called. The title is the title. It's never too late to reconcile, because what happens when you become your father? Hmm? If you grew up hearing, boy, you like your father, you know at some point you might become him. Meaning, at a certain point in your life, you may deal with the same situation with your child's mother that he dealt with your mother. And what happens then when you're not the child, you're the father? What happens then? Because remember, your mama always told you, you're just like your daddy. What happens when you become him? What happens when you become him and your baby mama telling your son that now? Hmm? See, we got to think about this. We got to think about this, because everybody grows up. What up, Club? Shout out to my man Club in the building. Yeah, it's a crazy cycle, JD. It's a crazy cycle, but it happens. I know it happens because it happened to me. Not everything yet, but certain things, because my dad told me that my life was gonna mirror his. I didn't know why he told me that. Because when you a little boy, right? Your dad wants you to be just like him. Plus, I'm a junior. So my dad wanted me to be just like him. Like literally just like him. He told me, he told me this throughout my life, that my life was gonna mirror his. And what's crazy is he wasn't lying. That's the crazy part. He was not lying. Certain tragedies, certain things I had to overcome within myself because of things that done happened in my life. He was right. He was right. He was right. So I want to ask the brothers, right? Shout out to Mr. DJ Music in the building. He says, you become your father the day you were born, good brother. It's up to you later in life how to react and adjust accordingly. Good or bad, the choice is yours. Salute DS1. Shout out to my brother, Mr. DJ Music. Salute, OG. Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with that. Totally. I agree. It does become our choice on, how we're going to move accordingly. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. But it's interesting. I'm glad you put it like that too, Mr. DJ Music, because it's interesting that I end up making some of the similar choices. Like the same, like me and my dad like the same, not the same type of women, like looks wise, but like our women have the same story behind their lives. Like me and my dad have that in common. Like we always find the women that has had issues and challenges and insecurities about life and how their life was gonna go, and that me and my dad have that in common. We had that in common. You see. And see, I'm bringing this stuff up, brothers, because you may never know this stuff if you're not open to reconcile. Because again, let me go back to my point. What happens when you're not the angry little son anymore? You're the dad of the little boy that's going through what he's going through with his mother. What happens when you on the other side of it? What happens? So all the years you grew up mad and you didn't understand and you just was frustrated and it drove you down a wrong path in life. But now you 35, 36, 37. You got a little son. And you going through it with his mother. He don't know. Same way you didn't know what was going on. He didn't know. See, he didn't know. He didn't understand until he got older. What up, GQ? Shout out to my man GQ in the building. Salute. You didn't know. JD says, we are born looking like our fathers, but die looking like the decisions we make. Good point. That's a good point. But just imagine. Would you want your son to feel the way you felt and he doesn't even know what's going on? See, you don't understand that until you become a grown man and you start dealing with women. You see? You don't understand that. You don't understand the problems your mama came with to your daddy. You don't understand that until you're in that role and you got a little boy depending on you, counting on you. And it hurt you because you got to make certain decisions to protect yourself. And it's making your son feel alienated. He doesn't understand that, just like you didn't understand it. So you can't hold it against your son, just like he can't hold it against you. See? But he got to grow up to understand that, just like you did. And see, a lot of us, we don't think about it like this. See, what made me start thinking about it like this is me one day waking up and knowing I can't call my father no more for nothing. See, a lot of y'all grew up wondering why you couldn't call your father to ask him for nothing. Why you didn't have his phone number. Why you didn't know where he was at. Why he never tried to come get you. Why he never called to check on you. Why he never called and said Merry Christmas, Happy Birthday, or Happy New Year. But imagine spending all of that time with your dad, and one day it's gone. You don't see it coming. It's not expected. You don't get to say your last goodbyes. It's like gone. Like you get ghosted. Like you just get ghosted. You like, what I do? you know, like when you get ghosted, you like, yo, she ain't even answering the phone no more. Like what I do wrong? What I said? I thought I did my thing. I thought we was having fun. I thought, what happened? That's how I feel. That's how I feel. Yes, sir. Salute to you. Salute Ariana Ali. Shout out to Joe Blast in the building. What up, Joe Blast? Salute to you, my brother. Imagine that. One day, it's just think about how you may have missed 20, 30 years of your life of your dad. But imagine if you could get him for 20. Imagine if you could have him back in your life for 20 years. He can't make up all the time, but he can make up some. Imagine that. Think about that, brothers. You ain't had your dad until you was 20 something. Think about all the time you could spend with him as long as he here. Because when he gone, it's over. And I'm here to tell y'all, you don't know when that day gonna come. You don't know. You don't know. You don't know when the moment is gonna happen. Forget the day. It happens like this in a moment. That's how it happened for me. It happened in a moment. In a moment. Like I said, No last goodbyes. No, I saw him in the hospital. You know, we decided to pull the plug. None of that. None of that. Instant. 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 My comrade said, I wasn't prepared for not just when he transitioned, but how and the absence felt afterward. Exactly. Same here, bro. Same here. Same here. Mr. DJ Music says, times waits for no man, DS1. No man, no woman, no other hour. It's a fact. That's a fact. Ariana Ali says, statistics say children turn out better in single father homes. A two-parent home is the second place. Scary. And of course, single mother households have 80% failure rates. Agreed. Agreed. Club says, talk to them, DS1. They time can creep up on you in the most unexpected way. Facts. Shout out to T Church in the building. What up, T Church? Now, today's show is about Karl Malone, NBA legend Karl Malone. Now, this story has a twist, and we gonna get into it. The story has a twist. Access to Rome. What's up, Access to Rome? My dad hated that I was a great dad. Sometimes that happens, Access to Rome. You know, we become better dads than our dads. But my dad always told me to be better than him. So it's interesting that your dad hated that you were a better dad, because my dad always wanted me to be better than him. He always told me to be better than him. My dad didn't want to be better than me. He wanted me to be better than him and pushed me to be better than him in every way, personally, financially, spiritually, everything. My dad always said that. My job is to make you better than me. You're supposed to have more opportunity than me. And then your son's supposed to be better than you because what you gave him, because what you give him is what I gave you. And then what you got on your own, you can give to him. So he's supposed to be better than you, and so on and so forth. So that's interesting, my brother. That's interesting. That's crazy. Because men push each other to be better. Be better than me. Don't make the mistakes I made. Don't react to situations the way I reacted. Don't lose your cool and things like that. Be better than me. I was a young hothead. I didn't I didn't really follow that part of it because I was a hothead too. I blow a gasket quick. That's something, but that's actually something that, you know, I think we got that from my father's father, my grandfather, because, you know, that's something that I had to work on throughout my childhood, my anger. And my dad used to always tell me, son, your anger gonna get you in trouble. Your anger is going to actually make people look at you in another light. You don't want people to look at you for your anger. You want people to look at you for who you actually are. You see? But it took for me to lose opportunity to see what he was saying. So now I know, right? With my son, I know exactly what I need to work on with him first. Me in particular. And what I gotta nurture, what are the key parts I gotta nurture and zero in on with him. You see? You see? But see, this Karl Malone story is crazy. And it's crazy because of the dynamic of this situation. Mr. DJ Music says the only man that ever told me that and meant it better be better than me, son. Yep. Yep. Ariana Ali says, I appreciate my father being my primary parent. Even though his mom raised me until a teen, he was active all through, although only 16 and 17 years my senior. No doubt. Shout out to Pops. Shout out to Pops. He made it his business, he made it his business to be there. SCBM in the building, salute. My dad never got over his childhood and shortcomings. He would always say he's okay if I'm okay. He feel like that's all he could do. He feel like that's all he could do. Joe Blast says, I had bad anger issues too. Mine came from not having that father around. It's true. That's true. Ariana Ali says, lessons as a man you can only learn from a dad. A father wants his children to go further / farther than himself. Facts. Access to Rome says, I understand what you're saying, and I place those same ideas in my son's head. My dad was envious and sabotaged things. He revealed himself to be one of my biggest enemies. Wow. Wow. Damn. There are dads like that, though. I can't front. There are dads who are jealous of their sons. That's true. That's just a sad reality. But I'm glad, my brother, you didn't internalize that and put that on your son, bro. So salute to you. Salute. Shout out to Mac Mean in the building. Shout out to TSTV. What up, Mac? What's good? Shout out to Big Dice in the building. Salute to Team Guardian. What up, Big Dice? Salute, my brother. Salute, salute. But let's get into this. Let's get into Karl Malone's story because his story is crazy. His story is crazy. And I'm gonna ask y'all a question after we get through the article, right? It's a quick little, it's not even a real article. It's a posting that somebody took, right? But let's pull it up. Shout out to everyone in the building. Make sure y'all hit that like button, share today's show. Hit the like button and share today's show, y'all. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. Because this is crazy. Now, y'all gonna be shocked at this, but it's real. But it's real. I was surprised to find this out. Now, y'all see this? I'm gonna just leave it here for a minute. Y'all see it? Y'all see it? Y'all see what that say, right? NBA great Karl Malone at the age of 22 had a baby by a 13-year-old. It's right there. It's right there. It's right there. You see it. You see it, L'Oreal. I told y'all this is gonna get controversial. And I'm saying that because I grew up a Karl Malone fan. I was a Utah Jazz fan growing up. I didn't grow up a Michael Jordan, Patrick Ewing. No, I like Shaq and Karl Malone and Penny Hardaway. I was a Karl Malone fan. So when I saw this, and somebody sent this to me, shout out to her for sending this to me. Salute to you, sis. I said I have to do a show about this. Yeah, Matt, you see it. You see it. Club says, oh, you remember this story? I didn't know. I didn't know, bro. I did not know this at all. At all. What up, Israelite Plight? Shalom, brother. Max says, call her a plate. I need that work. Bro, it says it right here. It's you see it, Jasmine. You see it. Cynical says, isn't that similar to what a certain deceased YouTube dude oh yeah, Sinful to P. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we smoked his boots. Cynical one. We smoked his boots. Sinful to Pedo. Yeah, we smoked his boots a couple of times over here. Yeah, that was back in the day though, you know. That was back in the day, Cynical. Yeah, you see it. You see it, Self University. So you know Demetrius Bell. Facts. I was a Utah Jazz fan. John Stockton. Come on, bro. Jeff Hornacek. Come on, man. Greg Ostertag. Karl Malone. Come on, man. Now, look what it say. NBA great Karl Malone at the age of 22 had a baby by a woman 13 years old. This is his son, Demetrius Bell of the Buffalo Bills. Now, if you look at his face, he looked just like Karl Malone. If you look at his face, he looked just like Karl. He looked just like him. He looks just like him. When I first heard that, I immediately thought about, yeah. Oh, yeah. Now, it says NBA great. This from All That Noise. NBA great Karl Malone states he has finally made peace with the son he conceived at age 22 with the 13-year-old girl, Gloria Bell. Malone initially denied paternity, fearing imprisonment. Now let's talk about this, fellas. Let's talk about this. Because remember, what was I saying? A lot of you guys don't know the story that happened between your parents and why your dad wasn't around. You don't know. You don't know the real story. And a lot of us don't know. A lot of us don't know why. I didn't find out why my parents broke up when I was 5 years old until I got to be a grown man. And then not only did I find out the real reason why, then I found out that that reason is why most goddamn families break up in the first place. So imagine growing up like Demetrius Bell. Imagine you, Demetrius Bell. You don't know why you didn't grow up with your father. Because I know his mama didn't tell him that. You know good goddamn well that woman ain't tell her son that. You know that. We not even gonna guess and say maybe she did. No. As men, we know there ain't no woman admitting that to their children. That your father was 22 and I was 13 when I had you. Your mama is not telling you no shit like that. That's too personal to a woman. She keeping that to herself. Only people gonna know that is probably the family. The only way you'll find that out is if your goddamn daddy tell you. Because mama not gonna tell you that. She not gonna tell you that. She's not telling you that. Shout out to DMW Shots in the building. What up, Shots? Salute to you, bro. Access to Rome says, thing is with Karl Malone, believe it or not, this was normal back then. My dad used to mess with young girls that went to school with my older brother. Wow. But not 13, though, access to Rome. 13 and 22? 13? That's too young, bro. That's too young. 13? Now, we all know that teenage girls like messing with grown men. We know that. We know that. But 13 and 22? No, sir. I never heard of that. I may have heard of 18 and 22, 17 and 22, right? 19 and 28. We heard of that. 13, bro? That's too young. 13? She's still a baby, bro. She's still at 13. 13? No, that's too young. And 13 to 22? No, sir. 9 years? No. Not 13 to 22. Like I said, maybe 28 and 19. I heard that before. A 19-year-old, her boyfriend 29, 30, she 19. But 13 and 22? Bro, that's nasty work. That's nasty work. That NBA bag clean up a demon work like a Hoover vacuum. What up, Ace Volleyball? Ace Volleyball says there's only two types of family that work: honest conflict or dishonest harmony. Never heard of that before. Good point. I like that analogy. Ace Volleyball. D Money in the building. What up, D Money? What's good? Yeah, I think that's nasty work. Access the role. 22 and 13? Nah. 28 with a bag says she probably looked like Aaliyah. Probably. I saw a picture of Gloria Bell. She do look like she was fine when she was young. She do. Self University says DS1, my mom had me at 14. Okay. But how old was your dad? How old was your dad though? We know women have babies at young ages, but 22 and 13? Joe Blast says, my godmother was married off at 14, and the man was near 30. Married off. Again, it's a different dynamic, Joe Blast. It's a different dynamic. It's a different dynamic. He literally knocked this 13-year-old up at 22, just smashing on her. You see what I'm saying, Joe Blast? It's a different situation, my brother. You said she was married off, meaning she was actually given to that man. That's what that sound like to me. She was married off. That's different. That's different. Because even back, and let's just be honest, Karl Malone is not that old for him to put him back that far where men was dealing with younger women. Karl Malone's not that old. He's not. He's not. He's around my dad age. He's like in his early 60s. He's in his early 60s. He's not that old, y'all. So we can't put him back that far. We can't put Karl back that far. He's not that old, y'all. Y'all got to remember that. He's not that old. The 9 and 10-year gaps are normally for the 18 to 25 crowd. Absolutely. He was old enough to drink and enlist in the army. She was barely out of her preteens. Exactly. Exactly. Like, come on. And think about it. Shout out to Jasmine. She says, and think about it. She had the baby at 13. He was probably messing with her when she was 12. Bingo. Thank you, Miss Jasmine. Thank you. She had the baby at 13. And he was 22. Bingo. Mr. DJ Music says, why he looking at a 12-year-old baby with all them groupies in the NBA? Great point. Great point, Mr. DJ Music. All them fine grown groupies in the NBA. I don't understand that. I don't understand that either. I don't understand it either. He went full throttle on a 13-year-old. I told y'all this story is controversial. I told y'all. I told y'all. I told y'all. Access to Rome says, I agree. It's disgusting, but it's not uncommon. It's not. I can't disagree with that. Access to Rome. I can't disagree with that. It's not uncommon. L'Oreal says, yeah, see, 13 is like elementary to me. Come on. 13, at 13, you're in middle school. You're in middle school. Like fellas, let's just think about it. At 13, you're in junior high school. She wasn't even in high school. She was like in the 7th, 8th grade and had a baby. So she had to be messing with him when she was like in the 6th or 7th grade. Because she had the baby in 8th grade. She wasn't in high school. Now, a lot of us know girls that had babies in high school. 9th grade, freshman year, she had a baby. One of my closest home girls I grew up with, she had a baby her freshman year in high school. And of course, it was a dude that was older than her from the streets. Of course. But 8th grade, 7th grade, a baby by a grown man? Again, Karl is not that old, y'all. Karl is not that old. But let's get back to it. Let's continue to read what happened. It says NBA great Karl Malone states he has finally made peace with the son he conceived at age 22 with the 13-year-old girl, Gloria Bell. Malone initially denied paternity, fearing imprisonment. Pay attention to that. And refused to pay $125 a week in child support, despite earning a total of $101,723,378 throughout his NBA career. He eventually settled with the family out of court, and a DNA test did in fact reveal Malone to be the father of Buffalo Bills player Demetrius Bell. Malone now publicly acknowledges Bell as his son. So now that he publicly acknowledges Demetrius Bell as his son, I'm gonna ask y'all in the chat, is it too late for him to reconcile? Is it too late? Should his son forgive his dad? Or do his son have the right to hold any of that against him? Is his son justified in holding anything against his father? Be honest, fellas, because now we know the whole situation. I told y'all the situation was wacky. It was crazy. I know we totally went left today. I know, but that was the purpose of it, because now we back on the right track. You see? Shout out to Elisino in the building. Salute, champ. Shout out to Champ in the building. Shout out to my man D's. What up, D's? Shout out to D's in the building. Bob says it's up to the son. It is. But what I'm asking Bob is, based on what we just heard, right? If that was you, right? Would you forgive your dad, or would you feel justified in holding things against him and feeling like you have the right to not reconcile? He doesn't have the right to. Joe Blast says, I know a woman who had her first child at 12. Man, that's scary. His son's almost 40. Yeah. His son is almost 40. Yep. That's how I knew I guessed Karl Malone age right. He in his early 60s. It add up. Shout out to Bruce Wayne. What up, Bruce? A man cannot erase his past doings. My father wasn't a father to me. And although I can forgive him, I will never forget. Some things you can't make up for. That's deep, Bruce. That's deep. Because some guys say that. Some guys say, man, it's just some things I can't, and I understand. Bob says, if the son wants a relationship, let him. Other than that, Malone could kick rock. Shout out to my man Bob. What up, D's? Israelite Plight says, Karl has an obligation as a man to own up to it, but his son has the right to feel how he wants to feel. I agree. I agree with that. I totally agree. I do. I totally agree. Because that's all on him. DMW Shot says, yeah, I will be tight. Shot says, I'll be tight. D says, at almost 40, it's like whatever at this point. For really though? For real? Really? I don't think so, bro. Sometimes brothers could have everything in their life, but that's the thing that they be missing, and that's the thing that hurt them the most. A perfect example of this is Floyd Mayweather and his father. That's a perfect example of this. Look how much resentment Floyd held against his dad his whole life. But look what happened when he let it go. And he didn't let it go for his father. He let it go for himself. See, so if Demetrius feels some way about his pops, he got all rights to. I'm not trying to say that he should just forgive his dad. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. What I want to know from the brothers in the audience is what, and if you was in that situation, right? What decision would you make that's best for you, that you think will be best for you? Some guys will say, man, it's whatever. It don't matter at this point. But for some guys, they really want that deep down inside. You feel me? Bruce says, sir, I can forgive my parents, but I can't give them any gray room. They knew. Okay. I respect that. I respect that. You basically saying you still love your parents, you forgave them for the things that happened, but they still happened. That shit hurted. I let them know it hurted, and I let them know that it kind of messed me up for it. I respect that, Bruce. I respect that. I respect that, bro. Bob says, I can't answer that question. My father acknowledged me the whole time. Even though we had a falling out, I created a bond with him. That's because you wanted to. You see what you said? Even though y'all had a falling out, you created a bond with him. You did. You did. That's because that's what you wanted, bro. That's what I mean. So you still answered the question, because it's not about him making a decision just to forgive his dad for his dad's sake. Because it's not about the dad. It's about you. You see? So you answered the question. Club say he is 40. Damn, Demetrius Bell is 40. D says, depending on him, no, DS1. I wish I could talk to mine. See, that's what I mean. That's what I mean right there, fellas. See what D's put? Depending on him. But he wish he can talk to his dad. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Is it ever too late to reconcile? Because there's a lot of guys out here who wish they could talk to theirs, whether they're alive or not. A lot of us wish we could still talk to ours. Deez has a point. When I was 14, when I quit my raging drunk mom at school and moved out, went to work, never let your parents be the reason you failed. Good point, Bruce. And you see what you just said? That's why I can understand why you have a rigid perspective about this, because you've had to go out and make it on your own. You've had to go out and be your own parents. And there's a lot of men who grew up like that. because my dad grew up like that. And the crazy part was my grandfather was in the house and he decided to, be the way that he was to my dad. And my dad was his first son, his first child. And my dad made it his business to not do me the same way. So I understand, Bruce. I understand, bro. I do. I understand. I just feel this is a great conversation for us men to have, man. Especially for the younger brothers like the Gen Zs. Because think about it, y'all. A lot of us that's in here talking right now we're millennials, Gen Xers. A lot of us are late millennials, early millennials, and Gen Xers, and late Gen Xers, and early Gen Xers, right? But think about the Gen Zs and the Gen Alphas. A lot of them, they fathers are dead and in prison. So I think this is a conversation that we need to have, that they need to see as well. They need to hear other perspectives from older guys about this stuff. Because the generations under us, their fathers are null and void. Think about that. Think about that. Their fathers are null and void. Gone. A lot of their fathers are gone. Absolutely. Shout out to Robert Platinum in the building. What up, Robert Platinum? You have to deprogram your mind from the foolishness and bad habits that our mothers taught us. Yeah, absolutely. Joe Blast says, if you have no hatred in your heart, then yes, there can be reconciliation. Agreed. Agreed. Shot says, my pops and I weren't connected at all, but we have a great relationship. We did reconnect when I was in my 30s. See? So that's what I'm saying. It could work. Am I just telling dudes to go and, act like a little kid and, oh, daddy? And no, I'm not saying that, brothers. I'm not saying that at all. But again, look at this situation with Karl Malone and his son. Karl literally disowned his son because he did something illegal. See, the story behind why Demetrius Bell grew up without a father is because his mother was an underage girl. Not because his father lost his job, his father was broke, his father was abusive. That's not why he didn't grow up with his dad. His father disowned him, afraid of going to jail. He didn't want to pay no child support because then he would have had to admit that that's his child. So he wasn't trying to pay no little girl no child support money because he was scared of going to jail. He did something wrong. And he did something so severely wrong that he had to disown the product that came from his decision making. You see how important what we do, is important, fellas? Do you see why that's important now? This man literally or possibly destroyed a man's life because of one decision, because of a decision he made. You see how important a man's decision making is? You see why you can't play with this stuff, fellas? He made one decision that has haunted him for 40 years of his life. For 40 years. This mistake that he said it was a mistake. I ain't gonna say it was a mistake. But let's just keep things politically correct. Right? This mistake. Look what it has done. Look at the damage it has caused. So you see why, as men, fellas, no matter how much we can come up with these stories and say, yeah, we know this happened, and yeah, we know it's uncommon, it's still not right. You see why it's not right? You see why? Because imagine the men who are not famous, the men who are not NBA legends, who did the same thing back in the day and left that little girl with a baby. And you find out one day that the boy you training at work is your goddamn son. You down there working at the chicken factory and your son coming there with a job and you got to train your son. You don't even know that's your son. This shit happens, and this is reality. This stuff is not a coincidence. So imagine, come on, y'all. The stories that's not going to hit the net because they're not famous. They're not NBA legends. They're not NBA legends, man. Access to Rome says he should reconcile and see how it works. Everyone deserves a chance to make things right. I agree with that. I agree with that. Israelite Plight says being reckless. Yeah. Israelite Plight says he made it regardless of his father's support. Yeah. Yeah. But do y'all agree with this? Because this is my thing. I'm going to tell y'all why I think Demetrius Bell should reconcile with his father. Because he had nothing to do with what his father and his mother decided to do. He's a result of it. And see, I think even as adults, we still got to remember that when we were children, we weren't privy to what was going on like that behind the scenes with our parents. So how can I be mad, right, at my father when I don't know the whole story? I don't know the whole story. I only know what my mama told me. In this case, Demetrius Bell only knew what his mother told him, if he ever even asked. So as a child, right, you're going to be upset and you have the right to feel the way you feel and to be mad. But when you become a man, right, and you dealing with women yourself, there's a level of understanding that you get about women in general. And I'm not saying this like he should look at his mom in some type of way. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is as a man, you realize, okay, well, goddamn, like I said earlier about me and my dad and our commonality in taste of women. See, you only realize that when you become a grown man. So you don't know the stuff that your mother did with your father. You don't know none of that stuff. You don't know none of the stuff they like to do and what they used to run around, and you don't know none of that. You don't know how you was conceived. You don't know the background situation. You don't know. You don't know. You don't know if your mother hid you. She could have hid the pregnancy because she was 13. Who's to say that her parents didn't know? We don't know. You see? And see, as men, we got to think like this. And it's not about blaming mom. It's about thinking rationally. Right. Details matter. Absolutely, champ. Details matter to a man. Because, see, at this point, right, I feel that you should just want to know the truth, just to know the truth, not to pick sides, not to say who was wrong or any of that. That shit was 40 years ago. Just tell me what happened so I can know what happened. At this point, but what I respect about Karl in the whole situation, this is what I respect about Karl Malone, is that he now claims his son. That he's doing, that he decided to make it right on his end. He extending the olive branch. That's what I can say is respectable in this whole situation from Karl Malone. That he extended the olive branch. He's admitting, yes, publicly, yes, he's my son. You see? Access to Rome says, you know, Malone probably still sending money for that child and keeping tabs on him. Well, initially he refused to pay child support. So I believe he probably cashed him out. Probably cashed him out a couple of million. Probably cashed him out a couple of million. But at this point, Demetrius Bell is in the NFL. It's not like he need his pop's money. Robert Platinum says, I think that both of the parents had Jerry curls when I was conceived. You know? Come on now. So think about that. Think about the times, you know, the years that when you were conceived, what was going on? What you think your parents was doing? You don't have a guy, you don't have an idea. But you can imagine if you know what was going on back in them days. You know? So at the end of the day, when we become fathers, brothers, right? Would you want your child to hold it against you? I'm not saying they don't have the right to feel the way they feel. I'm asking, would you want him to hold it against you if he don't know the whole story? Without knowing the whole story, without him giving you a chance, should he give you a chance to reconcile? Or is it too late? Or is it too late? Because for some people it is. Some people it is. So for some guys, their mind is made up. I'm good. You know? But in this situation, man, you know, for me, I'm thinking what's best for the son, me being a son, you know, me getting ready to be a dad. I wouldn't I wouldn't want my son to hold that against me. If anything was to happen between me and his mother, and he was left with his mother, I wouldn't want him to hold it against me. Because at one point, I loved his mother. If that was to happen. You see what I'm saying? See, we're gonna talk reality. We're not gonna speak on what sounds right and no, and what should have and what no. We're gonna talk on reality. Because people break up. People break up, man. They do. And some people don't stay together for the sake of the children. Some people just don't. Some people just don't. Married and unmarried. Some people just don't. And as men, that's a part of reality that a lot of us have to learn to accept, that harsh reality, man. That could be you. While you sitting there hating your dad, mad at your dad, don't want to forgive your dad, what happens when you become him? What happens if you become him? And for whatever reason, you and your baby mother not together no more, and your son hold that against you. And he don't even know. He only know what his mama told him. How would that make you feel? As a man, how would that make you feel? Knowing you never left him. You didn't abandon him. You didn't leave because of him. You left for yourself. Think about that. Remember, your mother and your father are still people. They still was just in a relationship. They still people. Yeah, this the part that bites, MR. Shout out to MR in the building. This the part that bites. When you have to accept your parents is just being people at some point. See, you realize that when you grow up. You start seeing the similarities. You start seeing your flaws and like, damn. You do. And then you start realizing, damn, this is a part of life. This is not something that I'm fully in control of here. This the shit that mess men minds up. This a crack a dude brain. This a crack a dude's spirit. Because for some guys, this shit never sit well with them. That dynamic of life where you don't have control there. See, you can't control if that woman just don't want to be with you no more. She might wake up one day and just want to be somewhere else. You can't control that. That's the shit that sent us to the mental hospital. That's the shit that drive men to just going and spending all his money and smoking crack till he die. Cause that shit they can't sit with it. They can't sit with it. See, so you don't understand when you a kid, when you that little boy, when you sonny boy, when you the son. But what happens when you the dad? And your son asks you what happened? Why you wasn't there? Why you didn't come to the games? Why? Tell me the truth. You gonna tell him the truth so he can set himself free? You're gonna tell him the truth? Or you just gonna tell him, oh, well, just believe what your mama told you. Believe what your mama told you. You gonna catch your attitude, nigga? Like he don't got the right to be mad. Like he don't got the right to be disappointed and angry and frustrated because he couldn't call you when he was growing up and he needed help and he was scared of certain shit that he had to face alone. So now you gonna get mad at your son when he was just like you. Remember? Remember? That was you. Now he's you. See why men are the ones who break the cycle? It's our job as men. We're the generational curse breakers of families. Women are the ones who carry the curses. Women are the ones who carry the curses on to the next generations, and they can pass them on genetically. Yeah. Epigenetics. They can pass on depression, schizophrenia, bipolar. Yeah. Major depression disorder, rage episodes, blackouts. They carry the curses. That's why it's our job to break them. It's our job to break them and make sure that they're not created. That's our job. That's on us. That's on us to make that shit right. Because guess what? Even if she don't forgive, that's when it's on her. It ain't on you no more. You see? Because either she gonna carry the curse or she gonna carry the reconciliation and move on and don't perpetuate it. But we gotta break it. We gotta break them. And shout out to my comrade. He always said this, brothers. He always told me this. He said, bro, you're gonna be a generational curse breaker. We are the generational curse breakers in our families. It's our job as men to do this shit, bro. The women can't do it. They're not designed to. They're designed to carry the curses. That's what they do. But where you think they got them from, nigga? Some nigga down in her family. A man. A man fucked up somewhere and he didn't clean it up. He didn't even attempt to. He left it broken. He left it broken. And went and broke up some more shit. But when a man looks to reconcile, he's not just reconciling for the sake of the family. He's reconciling for the sake of his own soul. Because see, when us men start getting older, we start realizing how much the shit we do. See, when you young, you don't think none of that shit matter. See, when you start getting older, you start realizing how much the shit you do, how much shit you say, how you say shit. You start realizing how it impacts not just you, but everything around you as a man. Now, I'm not talking about no poo putts. We not talking about Captain Underpants. We talking about stand-up men. We start to realize how our attitudes affect people around us. Everything. It's not to walk around and be shameful. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No, I'm not saying that, fellas. I'm not saying that. No. But you know what you done, nigga. You know. See, we know as men. We know. We know. We know why we get the karma we get. All we gotta do is sit down and think about it for a minute. Be like, God damn, I remember when I did that woman like that. That woman would have gave me anything. That's why my wife did me like that. Because that woman that would have did anything for me was my goddamn wife. And here it is, I done picked a goddamn woman who ain't worth two toothpicks rubbed together. And took her in as my goddamn wife. This is karma. See, we be knowing. That's why men get, when certain guys get older, they want to be by themselves. They're more to themselves a lot because they got to deal with the shit that they've done. And they know. But you should seek to reconcile, brothers. Don't hold that shit on you and let it weigh you down. Go and reconcile with the people. Go and get it off for you. You see? See, when you apologize, it's because you want forgiveness for you, for yourself. It's up to that person to forgive, to accept it. But even with them accepting it, that doesn't confirm anything to you. You see? You got to understand how this stuff works in an energy fashion. An apology is not designed for the person who says, I accept your apology. That's not the confirmation of what you done. The act of you humbling yourself to apologize is the act. That's the energy. Now it's up to them to accept you coming to them and admitting that. You see? You see? So like Bob said earlier, it's up to the son to accept it. Other than that, Karl can kick rocks. You see? But at the end of the day, I'm just speaking on this because at the end of the day, I want both brothers to feel better. Karl and the son. You know? Because what happened with the mother happened. That happened 40 years ago. You see? That happened 40 years ago. You see? So I don't think it you know, his son shouldn't even be speaking on that part. It should just be about, damn, I needed you there, Dad. You know, it would have been cool for everybody to, know that my dad is in the NBA and, on some shit like that. And I don't know, but does Demetrius Bell have children? He might have children. Karl might be a grandfather. So that can be another reason why he wants to reconcile with his son too. Because I'm going to say this and then we're going to wrap up today's show, right? My dad told me this. My dad said that he always felt that my grandfather his father, treated me the way he should have treated him. And he said that before my grandfather died, right? My grandfather died on Mother's Day. It's interesting how my father and his father died on a holiday. My father died on New Year's Eve. His father died on Mother's Day, right? And he said that he told my grandfather that he thanked him for treating me the way he treated me, because it was almost like he was making up for how he didn't treat my dad. My grandfather always gave me game, always taught me how to, the importance of respecting myself, looking a man in his eyes when I speak to him, the importance of saving some money, even if it's 10 cents a day. Just a lot of foundational manhood that he didn't give my dad, but he went out of the way to give me. Every time I saw him, he always gave me money. My grandfather was a number runner. After he retired from working in a butcher shop, he became a number runner. My grandfather had a lot of money. My grandmother never worked. My mother, she never worked. Never worked a job. But I feel that my grandfather, the way he showed my dad that he was sorry and he wanted to reconcile, was how he treated me. And before my grandfather died, him and my dad reconciled. They did. And he found out what happened. And it was something that had to do with him and my grandmother. It didn't have nothing to do with him. So you see how this stuff can take place generationally, fellas? You don't even know why your dad wasn't around, and you blaming him for some shit till you find out what really happened. So I feel it's never too late to reconcile, man. Always be open to reconciliation, brothers. Especially while you here, man. Because when you not here, and I'm telling y'all, brothers, take it from me, man. One who had his dad for 30-something years of his life. And then in a blink of an eye, he's gone. He's gone. Forever. Think about that. Your dad's still alive. You can reach out to him. You could call him. Think about that. You a grown man now. You go over there and watch the game with your pops. I can't do that no more. I can't do that no more. Go over there, have a cold one with your dad. I can't do that no more. I don't have the option. Y'all still do. So be grateful for it. See? Because when it's over, I'm telling y'all, it's going to feel different. It's going to feel different. Trust me. Trust me. A lot of times you're going to feel alone in the world, especially if you ain't got good brothers around. Thank God when I lost my dad, God gave me good brothers around because I don't have biological brothers, but God put certain brothers around me and it kept my mind stable. These brothers helped me to not lose my mind because you start to feel alone. You start to feel like you don't have nobody to talk to and to understand you as a man. Because who would understand you better than your father? Think about this. Think about this. Who would understand you better than him? When you really start going through shit in life. Think about this, fellas. You could still call him. Think about that. And ask his opinion on things. But you just keeping them out. And you know that's hurting you. You keeping them out and you know that's hurting you. Pawpaw. How many families today got a pawpaw? How many? When you go to a theme park, what you mostly see? Nana, mommy, and the children. What I would say in the past, I'm gonna say like the past 10 years, I've been seeing a lot of brothers step up more. You're starting to see a lot of us in the park now with our kids. Think about this, man. Think about this. Because guess what? One day, you're going to be gone. That's a fact. Mm-hmm. And that's a fact. One day, you ain't going to be here no more. So now I understand when they say, get your affairs in order. Straighten shit out before you just go through this life, bro, and die. Straighten shit out with the right people. With the people who count, the people who matter, especially your children. Especially, bro. Should be never too late to reconcile, man. The doors should never be closed to reconciliation. Never. Somebody not trying to purposely harm you physically or anything like that, man. Come on, man. Come on, brothers. We need to raise our life expectancy rates. No, the majority of us die from heart attacks, stress, heart issues, affairs of the heart. Come on, man. It's never too late for a man to reconcile. Shouldn't be. But shout out to y'all, man. I appreciate y'all for coming through to today's show. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all, man. Hopefully, we will be back tomorrow with another great show. Make sure y'all support today's show, man. Make sure y'all support today's show. Cash App, $ DS100 Network. If you enjoyed today's show, support the show, y'all. You know we require at least 2 financial donations. So make sure y'all support the show. If y'all have supported the show, I appreciate y'all. Y'all hit the Cash App. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all, man. Cash App is $ DS100 Network. All lowercase, all lowercase. DS100 Network on Cash App. Shout out to everyone for coming through. Yeah, you might have to catch the playback, Shamita. Shout out to Shamita in the building. Yeah, you're gonna have to catch the playback. Shout out to everyone for coming through. Shout out to everyone, man. Shout out to everyone. As y'all know, yes, the second semester has started. So definitely had to get to work, you know. Got a lot going on, as y'all know. But as I say, man, I will be coming live when I can. Tomorrow, we would I definitely had a show planned for you guys. I should be live tomorrow. But always stay abreast to the community tab. Stay abreast to the community tab. That's where I'll be letting y'all know if anything change at any time. My lovely lady mods, y'all know some of y'all, I got y'all on Instagram, so I'll let y'all know if anything changes. Well, shout out to everyone. Shout out to everyone. Thank you so much, Miss L'Oreal. Thank you so much. Shout out to you, Miss Classy Creole, as always. Shout out to my lovely lady Mars for coming through and holding it down today. Salute, salute, salute. Salute to all the visionaries for coming through. Make sure you support today's show with a like and a share. Get down in the comment section. Get down in the comment section. Let me know what you think of today's show, man. Is it ever too late for a man to reconcile? Let me know. DS1 Ross, Sheep Stay Sleep TV. I appreciate all the love and the support. I appreciate all the financial donations as well. And I'm going to catch y'all tomorrow. Peace.